A lot of guys end up in relationships, whether it's with a girlfriend or someone they just started dating, feeling like they're constantly underappreciated. They don't feel like they're a priority in her life. And here's the thing, if you're feeling like that, more often than not, you're right, most of the time, that gut feeling leads to a hard truth. You find out she sees you as a second choice. A backup plan. Or worse, just someone to fill space until someone better comes along. And of course, when that realization hits, it wrecks your confidence. It makes you question yourself. You're torn. On one hand, you want to walk away with your dignity, but on the other, there's this desperate urge to win her over. That's where I come in. Today, I want to help you break free from those toxic emotions. I'm going to teach you how to take full control of your relationship, not through manipulation or games, but through real self-respect, mindset, and emotional strength. This is your blueprint for becoming the kind of man who commands respect, who becomes the prize in the eyes of any woman. This video isn't just a pep talk, it's a full masterclass on how to show up as a man in your relationship. No matter what stage you're at, talking, dating, or in a long-term relationship, this is how you get her to see your worth without ever begging for her attention. Now let's talk about why she's treating you like an afterthought. Why is she acting like she doesn't care? Why does it feel like you're always chasing her, but she never chases back? Here's the cold truth, it has nothing to do with her. The way you're living and everything to do with the way you're approaching the relationship. That's the real reason she's not prioritizing you. And until you shift that, you're going to keep ending up in this same loop. Listen carefully, you never need to chase a woman in order to get her to want you. What you need to chase is your own self-respect. If you treat yourself like you're replaceable, she'll treat you exactly the same way. Guaranteed. So today, I'm going to show you how to flip this script. How to become the man she sees as a catch, the kind of man she fears losing. We're going to dive into the psychology behind attraction, emotional control, and presence. This is the stuff that makes her see you as the main character in her life. Let's get into it. Emotional detachment equals power. One of the most powerful things you can learn as a man is how to emotionally detach yourself from her actions. That doesn't mean being cold or distant, it means taking back control of your emotions. See, the moment a girl realizes she can push your buttons, make you anxious, jealous, or insecure just by ignoring your texts or canceling on you, she's going to do it. It's not personal. It's human nature. People test limits. And if she senses she can control you emotionally, she loses respect for you. But when you don't react? When you stay calm, focused, and unfazed by her little games, that's when everything changes and she replies with dry, one-word answers. Or she suddenly stops being sweet and starts acting cold. Most guys would panic. They'd replay every conversation in their heads trying to figure out what they did wrong. They'd start double texting, overthinking, apologizing for no reason. Don't be that guy. Understand this, her behavior is a reflection of her, not you. If she doesn't respond, fine. You're busy anyway. If she cancels plans, no big deal. You've got things going on. This is the mindset you need to build. Your happiness should never depend on a woman's mood or behavior. When you stop letting her actions dictate your self-worth, you reclaim your power, and women can feel that shift immediately. This doesn't just make you more attractive. It makes you unshakable. Women desire men with purpose. You want to know what really draws a woman in? A man who's focused on something bigger than her. A man with a purpose. A mission, not someone who's sitting around waiting for her to reply to a message. You might not realize this, but if you're always available, she starts to see you as disposable. She knows that no matter what she does, cancels, disappears, flakes, you'll still be right. You've trained her to see you as an option. And let me ask you this. Do you think a man who truly knows his worth would ever allow himself to be treated like that? The answer is no. High-value men don't chase women who treat them like an afterthought. They don't waste time convincing someone to stay. They walk away from anything that doesn't align with their standards, and that alone makes women want them more. So what's the fix? You need to stop being so available. Stop being the guy who says yes to everything. The guy who drops everything just because she remembered you exist, you need to show her, through your actions, that your time matters. Which brings me to the next point, actions speak louder than words. Most guys try to talk their way into a woman's heart, they send long texts. They explain themselves. They try to convince her how different they are. You've probably said it too, I'm not like the other guys. I really care about you. I'm serious about this. Guess what? She's heard all of that before, probably from 5 other guys. You could write a whole novel about your feelings and it still wouldn't matter if your actions don't back it up, because women don't care about what you say, they care about what you do. Instead of over-explaining, show her your worth through your behavior. Be the guy who follows through. Who sets boundaries. Who lives with intention. That's the kind of guy a man of action. Think about it, who are women really drawn to? Is it the dude who texts all day long, begging for attention, or is it the one who's calm, balanced, and quietly confident, the man who doesn't need to prove anything with words, because his life, his presence, his self-respect says it all? Set boundaries or she will. If you don't set the rules for how you want to be treated, she will. And trust me, those rules won't be in your favor. A lot of men are afraid to set boundaries because they think it'll make them look controlling or insecure. But setting boundaries has nothing to do with control, and everything to do with self-respect. It's about sending a clear message, this is how I expect to be treated. Let's say she ignores your messages all day, and then hits you up at 10 p.m. asking to hang out. Most guys would drop everything and go. But what does that teach her? That she can reach out whenever she wants and you'll still show up. Instead, what if you said something like, can't tonight. Got things going on. Let's plan for another day. Boom. That's a boundary. You're letting her know your time isn't disposable. She might act annoyed at first, but deep down, she'll respect it. Because you're not bending over backward just to get a little attention, and here's the truth, if she doesn't respect your boundaries, then she doesn't respect you. And if that's the case, you need to be ready to walk away. No drama. No begging. Just a clear decision that you won't settle for less than what you deserve. One of the biggest traps a lot of guys fall into is sacrificing their time for a woman who hasn't even earned it. They're constantly rearranging their life to fit hers. Canceling plans. Postponing personal goals. Always on standby, just waiting for her next move. If that's you, stop it. Immediately, because here's the simple truth, a man who doesn't value his time will never be valued by the woman he's with. When you keep making yourself available, when you're the one constantly adjusting everything for her, you're teaching her one thing, your time doesn't matter. And the second she starts believing that, your attraction level drops. Fast, we live in a world where women are used to guys chasing them. They've got DMs full of men offering time, energy, even money, just to get their attention. So when you join that crowd and start rearranging your schedule for her, you're not standing out, you're blending in with every other guy she doesn't take seriously. But a man with a purpose, that's different. A man with a mission isn't waiting around for a text. He's building something. He's focused. And when she sees that, she begins to respect you, not because you're ignoring her, but because you're not obsessed with her. So how do you reclaim your time? Simple. You start living for you again. If she calls and wants to hang out but you've got things to do, say no. If you're working, training, building, resting, stick to your schedule. Your time is valuable she needs and not something she can casually interrupt whenever she wants, and don't be afraid to let her earn your attention. Make her put in effort. Because when you value your time, you teach her to value you. This is how you shift the dynamic, by being a man who lives life on his terms, not hers, mastering the art of mystery. Now let's talk about something that most men today have completely lost, the art of mystery. Mystery is one of the most powerful forces of attraction. Think about it. We're drawn to what we don't fully understand. It's human nature. That's why cliffhangers work in movies. That's why people can't stop scrolling social media. Curiosity is addictive. And the same applies in relationships. The moment a woman can fully predict you, your next move, your next text, your next emotion, you become boring. And boring is the beginning of death in attraction, but here's the problem, most men overshare. They text non-stop. They tell her everything. They reveal every emotion the moment they feel it. They become an open book too soon, and when that happens, there's no tension left. No curiosity. No spark. Now I'm not saying you should lie or play games. That's not what this is about. I'm saying you need to stop being so predictable. Let her wonder. Let her guess. Let her feel something. For example, if she texts you, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" Most guys would send a long explanation. "Oh, I just got home from work, about to eat, maybe going to the gym later." Stop. Instead, say something simple like, "Thinking about catching a movie. Might go out later. What about you?" See what happened there? You gave just enough. You left a little question mark in her head. You flipped the attention back to her. That's mystery. That's confidence. That's attraction. Don't flood her with constant updates. Don't let her feel like she knows everything about you within a week. Attraction grows in the unknown, so give her space to think about you. Let her wonder what you're doing, who you're with, what you're thinking. And I promise you, she will start chasing, because in her mind, the man she can't fully figure out is the man she can't stop thinking about. Emotional intelligence, handling her mood swings. Now, let's talk about something crucial, how to handle a woman's emotional waves without getting pulled into the storm. If you've been with women long enough, you know what I'm talking about. One moment she's warm and affectionate, the next she's distant and cold. One day she's all over you, the next she's acting like she doesn't care, and what do most men do? They freak out. They try to fix it. They react emotionally. They match her chaos with even more chaos. That's the wrong move. As a man, your strength is in your stability, not in your ability to match her mood swings. You see, women live in a world of emotional ups and downs. That's just part of how they're wired. But what they're really looking for is someone who stays grounded through all of it. A rock. A calm presence. A man who doesn't get pulled into her emotional storms, on you, goes quiet, gets moody, or lashes out. Breathe. Stay composed. Don't chase. Don't get reactive. Let her feel what she's feeling. You're not there to fix her. You're there to lead emotionally by example, because when you stay calm while she's in chaos, she'll start to see you differently. She'll feel safe with you. She'll come to respect your emotional strength, and that's way more powerful than trying to solve all her problems. Be her anchor. Let her storms pass. She's not testing you to be cruel, she's testing to see if you'll break. And when you don't, that's when she sees you as a man she can't replace. Reframing rejection. Let's face it, rejection sucks. But the way most men deal with rejection is completely wrong. A girl cancels a date, stops replying, or says she's not interested, and suddenly the guy is in a downward spiral, questioning his worth, wondering what went wrong. Listen to me, stop doing that. Rejection is not the end of your story, it's a wake-up call, it's an opportunity to get better. Stronger. Smarter. More aware. If a girl walks away from you, it doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means she wasn't right for you. And more importantly, she never saw your value clearly to begin with, and that's on her, not you. Your job now isn't to chase her, beg her back, or drown in self-pity. Your job is to analyze. Ask yourself, what did I learn here? Did I come on too strong? Did I set no boundaries? Was I acting like a man with no purpose? Because rejection is your greatest teacher. It's not failure. It's feedback. It's clarity. And it's clearing space in your life for someone who actually values what you bring. So from now on, shift your perspective. Rejection doesn't reduce your value, it reveals the areas where you still need to grow. Thank the rejection. Learn from it. Then level up, because here's the truth. The woman who rejects you today may be the one chasing you 6 months from now when you've evolved into a version of yourself even you didn't see coming, and if she doesn't come back, even better. You dodged someone who couldn't see your worth either way. You win, stop trying to convince her. Here's one of the biggest mistakes I see guys make all the time: they try to convince a woman to like them. They think if they say the right things, show the right side of themselves, or promise her everything she wants, she'll finally see their worth. Let me be crystal clear with you right now: attraction doesn't come from convincing, it comes from presence and behavior. Every time you try to talk a woman into liking you, you're placing yourself in a weaker position. You're essentially saying, "I know I'm not enough as I am, so let me explain why I'm worth it." But a man who knows his value, he doesn't explain it. He shows it through how he moves, how he treats himself, and how he lives his life. So if you find yourself writing long texts, making emotional speeches, or trying to persuade her that you're the right guy, take a step back. You're doing too much. Your actions should be doing the talking. Not your mouth. If she doesn't see your value naturally, without you pushing it on her, then either you haven't developed that value yet, or she's not capable of seeing it. Either way, trying to prove it will only push her further away. You don't need to convince a woman who already feels your presence. Remember this: a high-value man doesn't chase validation. He lets his life speak for itself. Make her earn your energy. You give your time, energy, attention, so freely, without asking for anything in return. And then you wonder why she doesn't appreciate it. The answer is simple: she didn't have to earn it. You need to understand this fundamental truth: human beings, not just women, don't value what comes too easy. When something costs nothing, it feels like it's worth nothing. That's why a woman will be more drawn to a guy who gives her 20% of his attention but makes her work for the rest, than to a guy who gives her 100% upfront without her lifting a finger. This doesn't mean being rude or playing games. It means being intentional, selective, reserved. Make her earn your energy. Let her show you that she deserves your time, just as much as you're showing her that you're worth hers. This creates balance, mutual respect, real desire. If you're always the one initiating, planning, texting, reaching out, pause. Pull back. Let her step forward for once. Let her wonder why the energy shifted. Let her question why she hasn't heard from you in a while, closer, or reveal that she was never that interested in the first place. Either outcome, a win. Don't fear walking away. This might be the most important mindset shift you'll ever make when it comes to women. Never be afraid to walk away. The moment a woman senses that you're too afraid to lose her, she'll stop valuing you. Because now, she knows she holds all the power. She knows she can treat you however she wants, and you'll still stick around. That fear of loss puts you in a submissive position. And once you're there, it's nearly impossible to gain back her respect. But when you're a man who isn't afraid to walk away, that's when you become powerful. That's when she realizes you have standards. You're not going to tolerate poor treatment. You're not going to beg for love. You're not going to settle, and that energy, it's rare. It's magnetic, because most men are so terrified of losing a woman, they end up losing themselves instead. They give up their identity, their values, their goals, all to keep her. You want real attraction? Be willing to leave if your standards aren't met. When you can look a woman in the eye and, without anger, without bitterness, say, "I care about you, but this isn't what I'm looking for," you immediately rise above 99% of men she's ever dealt with. That's the moment she sees your true value, not when you chased her. Not when you explained yourself. But when you chose yourself instead of settling for scraps. Flip the dynamic. Most relationships fall apart because the man is always trying to win the woman, and never asks if she's done anything to win him. Let's flip that dynamic. Instead of thinking, "How can I get her to want me?" start thinking, "Does this woman even qualify to be with me?" That mindset shift changes everything. Because now, you're not approaching the relationship from a place of lack, you're coming from abundance. From self-respect. From power. It doesn't mean you treat her badly. It means you hold her to a standard. Just like she holds you to one. Start asking real questions. Does she support your goals? Does she respect your time? Is she adding peace or chaos to your life? Because if she's not enhancing your world in some way, what are you even doing? don't give your heart to someone just because she's attractive. Beauty is everywhere. But character, loyalty, respect, that's what's rare. That's what's valuable, and that's what you should be looking for, when you hold yourself to a high standard, and refuse to settle for anything less from others. You become the kind of man who naturally attracts high-quality women, not by force. Final thoughts. If you've watched or listened this far, it means you're serious about making a change. And I respect that. What you've learned today isn't a quick fix or some manipulative trick to get women to like you. It's a deep, permanent upgrade to the way you see yourself, and the way others see you too. We've covered emotional detachment, boundaries, time value, rejection, mystery, and power. These aren't just dating tips, these are life skills. This is how you build real self-worth. This is how you stop living for other people's approval and start living for your purpose. So let me say it one more time, stop chasing her validation, start chasing your own growth. Stop trying to fix her moods, start mastering your emotional control, stop waiting around, start living your mission. You are the prize. But you have to believe that before anyone else will, because once you step into that mindset, once you become the man who values himself above all else, you'll never be treated like a backup again. She'll see it. She'll feel it. And she'll either rise up to meet your energy, or fall out of your life. Either way, you win. This was the Dark Needle. If this message hit you hard, if it made you think, if it lit a fire inside you, then make sure you don't just listen. Live it. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp. Stay focused. And above all, stay true to yourself.